welcome back guys. Let's continue our journey at Chester Zoo. This is part 2. Make sure you check part 1 as well. This is the Colombian spider monkey, and as you know, it gets its name because it is a type of spider monkey that lives in Colombia. Colombia is a country in South America. Now, most monkeys use their very long tails to balance themselves in the trees. And I think you might be able to see the tails right now. And there's one. You see it's using its tail. The tail is like a fifth arm, which is very good. It's very prehensile. And spider monkeys are a bit like climbing on trees spiders. So they're a bit like spiders that climb on trees so high. That's a bit funny. And take a look at those spider monkeys. They look very cool, don't they? So this is the lowland tapir, which looks very similar to the Brazilian tapir. Now, most tapirs live in forests of South America, but there's one type called the Malayan tapir, which lives in Malaysia and parts of Indonesia. So these are water hogs. Now, should I tell you some fun facts about them? So, water hogs actually have tusks, which are very sharp and are good at protecting the babies and themselves. And also, they are very fast runners. And should I tell you something else very cool? So, when a predator, like let's say a lion, comes to get one of the babies will run into their burrows, and then the mom will stay inside, sticking out her face, and then it's actually very solid. So that means the predator can bite the warthog's face, but they can't actually bite it off. So that's very nice. Okay, so this is the Central African cheetah. So this cheetah looks a bit similar to a leopard or a jaguar, but the difference is, jaguars and leopards have these bits called, they're like zeros, which are called rosettes, but as you can see on the cheetah, they've got spots, so they haven't got rosettes. But also on jaguars, they've got dots, one dot in the center, but leopards haven't. Take a look at the cheetah's tail. Now, the tail is actually very important with balance. So they like to eat gazelles, which can run very fast, and they do this thing called the zigzag, where they can actually balance with using their tails and run away from the cheetahs. Cheetahs can also do that, but the tail helps with balance, so they don't fall over while doing that. Also, they have claws. These are called retractable claws. So that means you can pull them in, and so many big cats have them. So they're attached to muscles and ligaments. So you can, like I said, you can pull them in if you want, and when you're ready, you can pull them out, because the muscles pull them out. And cheetahs are very interesting, but also they've been hunted for their fur, so they can be used in decorations. You can see we are in the cafe because my sister got a little bit hungry, and also I'm a bit hungry, so we're in the cafe and we're going to eat something. So in Chester Zoo, it's not only the animal conservation I like, they recycle absolutely everything in the cafe. Take a look at this. So this is how they serve lunch. Instead of using plates, plastic plate, that's single use, they use wooden boxes to help serve lunch. This is also fully recyclable. Take a look at this. This cup is fully recyclable in your paper bin. Isn't that great? And also, you might use single-use plastic cutlery, but check this out. Wooden cutlery. How cool is that? So basically in Chester Zoo, it's not only about animal conservation, it's also about recycling. So these are back-trained camels. And there's another animal in there that looks kind of like a donkey, but we're going to be focusing on the back-trained camel. So the back-trained camel, so there are two types of camels, back-trained and dromedary. Now the way to tell the difference is back-trains have two humps, but dromedaries only have one. Now sadly, there's very small amounts of wild back-trained camels out in the wild, but there are lots of domestic back-trained camels. Dromedary camels are very common. Now, there are some very cool facts about them. Now, you might think that they hold water in their humps, but no, they hold their body fat. So they hold the fat that comes from their food inside, and it stores energy. And they can survive for a long time without water. And you know, they have eyelashes that are so long. So those eyelashes helps, so you know these things called sandstorms? So wind blows sand to their eyes, but the eyelashes protect the camel's eyes from the sand. So that's very interesting. So you might not be able to see, but believe it or not, that there is a black lemur in there. Now lemurs are part of the family of primates. Now lemurs have these very long tails, which are very good at balancing when they're climbing on trees. And so, you know, the ring-tailed lemur, which is a different type of lemur, we might see it in this episode, we might know, I don't know, it depends on where the ring-tailed lemurs are and if they're inside or not. And also, now the ring-tailed lemurs actually have these glands on their wrists and their armpits, which are scent glands, which spread, so they can use scent fighting. So they get the scent and then they actually throw it at other lemurs, and they can also use it to mark their territory. Welcome back, guys. This is the butterfly area. Now I'm going to be telling you the butterfly life cycle. So it starts out as an adult female butterfly, lays her eggs on a leaf, and then they start to hatch into caterpillars, which are actually the pupa. So then they start forming silk into a chrysalis, and then the chrysalis, so they go through a stage of metamorphosis, which turns the caterpillar into a butterfly. After a few weeks, the chrysalis hatches, and there's a beautiful butterfly in the air. That was a lot of fun in the butterfly area. It was pretty humid in there because the butterflies that are in there actually come from very hot countries, so they're used to hot weather. Anyway, now we're at the area where there are giraffes. Now, you know, giraffes have very tall necks, and everybody knows that, and you can already see that. But you know how many neck muscles they have, neck bones? 7, just like us. But instead they are taller. Now there are 2 reasons why giraffes' necks are so tall. Because one reason is so the males put on a show which is called the neck fighting show, and then the males fight with their necks, and then they oppress the females. So then the females can mate with that male who wins the contest. And also, so every single herbivore, which is a plant eater, has a different level for what type of plant they eat. So let's say like the gazelles, they eat the more small types of plants, but the zebras eat the more tender shoots, but the giraffes get to the highest level, which is up in the trees. They also have very long legs. So what giraffes can do is when they need to defend themselves, they can use their legs and kick predators, and that can be very deadly for something like a lion.